Hi everyone, welcome back for another tutorial on this channel. If you're completely new here, I am B of B's Magic Hands and I create beginner friendly tutorials. So today we are going to learn how to make this patchwork sweater. It is super easy, I guarantee you that. And you can see how it turned out on me. I'm just showing you how mine turned out and your expectations after the tutorial. So I chose 4 colors just to set my mood straight for the season. You can use any yarn of your choice plus the recommended hook size for it. Also, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscribe button, turn on all the notifications so that you'll be alerted of every video that I post here. Okay, I appreciate all of you so much. So without wasting any time, let's get right into the tutorial. I'm already excited to take you through all this nice sweater that I made. Bye. So as I start to shoot my tutorial, I'm going to ask you people to pardon me. I deal with a lot of noise where I stay, and I try as much as possible every time to shoot my videos with limited noise. So in cases where the noise is a little bit unbearable, please pardon me. I'm not doing that purposely, okay? I'm just trying to work with what I can for now. Now for my tutorial, I am going to be using a medium weight yarn, and you can choose any color of your choice. I decided to go with fall theme. These are the yarns that I was able to get at the store. So my yarn is 100% acrylic, medium weight, and this is what I'll be using for that. I want my tension to be a little bit loose, so I'm using a 4.5mm hook. You'll need a scissor and then a yarn needle. Let's get into this tutorial. Also to note, you can use either 3 or 4 or 5 shades of yarn color depending on what you want, but I will be using 4. Let's begin. So my patchwork sweater is going to be a little bit baggy. I kind of like baggy things sometimes, especially for my sweaters. So my sweater is going to be an XL or 2XL. For my body size, I usually wear between medium to large, but now for this case I'll be making myself an XL patchwork sweater. So this is what I want it to look like. It is going to have 8 rows and 5 columns. So I'm just going to demonstrate to you how that looks like. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I want 5 sides of it. This is 1. So in the back panel they are going to be like 5. This is already 3 4 and 5. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. So like that. This is my back panel. Then these 2 are going to be my front panel. Okay, panel, and I have 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6. I don't know why I'm shaking. 7 and 8. Okay, so this other part here is the front part where we shall be putting our ribbing. Okay, I want this is how I want my colors to coordinate. I'll start with the mask that I go to this color. I'll go to brown and then gold. This might be green, but I don't know which green this is. I'm just going to call it green. And because my sweater is going to be a size XL for me, my squares are going to be measuring 5 times 5 inches on all sides. Okay, if you want yours to be smaller or bigger, you can do a 4.5, you can do a 4.5, or if you want it larger, you can do a 5.5 or 6 inches. Okay, your choice. But since I'm doing 5 columns for myself, you can see that my first row and the last row are exactly the same. You can note that. Now there's something I want you to note here. Are you seeing this line here? You're seeing that after gold there's a green, meaning somewhere here is going to be a gold, okay, and then a green. I just want to show you people. So you've started here with a green, and you saw here that the next color, the immediate color which followed a green for me was a brown. So you put here brown, and then the color which followed a brown was gold, and then you go to mustard. Are you getting that? Now when you're filling this space, it's easy to fill the other one. This is already a green, brown, gold, and mustard, so this is going to be a green, brown, gold, and mustard. Are you seeing that? So you have a green and a green, you have a brown and a brown, and you are noticing that as it goes like this, when you have a mustard, somewhere here is a brown. As you can see, you have a brown here, and somewhere here is a mustard, and then you are saying that there is a brown here, and it's going to be very easy for you to put a mustard here. As you can see, it has ended with a brown. Okay, and you have a gold, you have a green here, so you are again going to have a gold, and then you are going to have a green, and you can see you have ended with a gold. Okay, there's a lot of mathematics going here, but I just want to show this to you so that the colors can coordinate very well, and this is the easiest way I know for myself. If there's another easiest way for you, you can try that one. Okay, but I'm just going to try to explain this in the most simplest way. So your inches are going to be 5 by 5, because I remember telling you I want my sweater to be XL, meaning if you are a size large, you can wear the sweater that I'm going to make. Okay, so I will start with mustard. We shall give it the initial M, and then I go to green. We shall give it initial GR, and then I go to brown, and then gold. We shall give it the initial GD. Okay, so this is the composition of this sweater. I want you to master this part very well because it's important for this tutorial. Is that all right? So since we have mastered here, the easiest way for you to get these color coordinations is just how I'm going to show it to you right now. Now since you have mustard, green, brown, and gold, you are going to have a green here, and you assume that in between here is a brown, and then the next one is a gold, meaning you are going to end with a mustard. Okay, and then from here you continue with a mustard, green, brown, and gold. Is that okay? All right, and then here you get a green, inside here is a brown, a gold, and then a mustard. Okay, and then here you are going to get a green, a brown, and then a gold. Is that okay? This is the easiest. I want to show you people how to do this. And now we are going to fill the remaining spaces. Okay, these ones exactly are going to be the same. So this is going to be green, brown, and then gold. You have a green here, you have a gold here, so this is going to be a green. Okay, So you have a brown here, and remember we started with a mustard and then a brown, so you are going to put a mustard here, and after mustard you will put a blue here. So you can see we have a mustard and a brown, a mustard and a brown. Okay, now brown, brown, brown. Are you seeing that? Green, green, gold, gold, mustard, mustard, green, green, blue, brown, brown, gold, gold. Okay, it's just very simple, and I wanted to show you that. Now that you have gotten like all the other 4 colors here, it's very easy for you to fill these remaining 3. You know that the next is going to be a gray, a mustard, okay, a green, a mustard, brown, green, mustard, gold. Sorry, it needed to be a brown. That's why sometimes I need to use a pencil for this, but I couldn't find a pencil. Then this is a green, and this is a mustard. So you can see that we have a mustard and a brown, a green and a gold, a brown and a mustard, a gold and a green, a mustard and a brown. So when you coordinate these colors, you are going to get exactly the colors which you need for this cardigan. Now this is both the back and the front panel. I want my sweater to be baggy, so I'm obviously going to be making a very baggy sleeve. So I will have 4 panels for my sleeves. Okay, something like this, like this. This is the most important part of this tutorial. The other parts are just very easy. So I want to be a little bit detailed with what I'm saying here. So I'm going to have 3 columns for it. So these are my sleeves. Okay, so for the sleeves, it's going to be, you see how you have a brown here. Now you are going to, you see a brown, okay, you have a mustard, and then a brown and a mustard. Okay, a brown, a mustard, a brown, and a mustard. You have a green here. Okay, you are going to have a green. Okay, green, green, is that okay? This is gold, 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 a green and a gold, and then you are going to have a green here, and then you have a gold. You have a gold and a gold. Okay, you have gold here, so this green here, meaning you are going to have another gold somewhere here. No, no, no. We need to be very careful with what we are doing here. So this is a mustard, so somewhere here is going to be a mustard. Somewhere here is going, this and this is going to be a green. So this and this is going to be a brown. So we have a green, brown, gold, and mustard. We have a mustard, green, brown, and obviously this is going to be a gold. Okay, so you have a gold, mustard, and we are left with green and a brown. So obviously the one after this is going to be a green. You can see we have green, 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 and you are going to end with a brown. Is that okay? And the other side of the sleeve is just exactly what we have here. So you are going, so we are done with the sweater composition. And my boxes, when I count all my colors, I have 15 colors each, and that makes 60 number of squares that I'm going to make. In that, for the sleeves, it's 12 on both sides, and when you multiply this by 2, it's 24. And for the back panel, that is, if you just take this up there they are 20, and for the front panel I have 4 on each side, and when you multiply that by 16, and the entire total is 60 number of squares. I have already worked on half of this sweater, and I want to show you what I am talking about here. So this is one side of my sweater. I've actually worked on most of it because I knew that if I was going to explain this, I needed to have a visual. So I've already gone ahead to join part of it, but this, what you see here is one long column of my sweater, and I made 2 of this for both the back and the front panel, and then the other one part of my back panel is just a short of this because you can continue up to the end, okay? And then there's this other one here which is very long, and this is how the whole thing looks like. I know it's not fitting on the screen entirely, but this is just how the whole thing looks like, and you can see how the colors are coordinating, mustard like this, and you have a gold and you have a brown. This is just how it looks like. You can see there's a gold, there's a brown, there's a green, there's a mustard, there's a brown, there's a gold, just like that, and that is how it flows. And these are my sleeves, okay? I have 12 panels for my sleeves, and there are 1 2 3 4, and when you count all this it is 12, and then I have already joined most of it. I'm going to show you how to make the squares, and my squares are 5 by 5 on all sides. This is 5 inches on all sides, okay? This, and then 5 inches on all sides. Although I think it might have, some might have stretched while I was joining the stitches. So I think with this we can start this tutorial and I show you how I made this. I've used the even more stitch, and it works with a multiple of 2. So let's just go right into the tutorial and get started. Now for us to start our work, we are going to chain multiples of 2. So I made my squares, and my number of chains were 22 plus 1, okay? This is like that. So I'll chain 22. This is 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23. Okay, the 23 is a returning chain. So you are going to go in the second stitch and make a slip stitch in there. Don't put it too tight, okay, because you are going to need that in row 2. So we start with a slip stitch and end with a half double crochet. So in the next stitch you are going to put a half double crochet, and then next stitch you put a slip stitch, and then next stitch you put a half double crochet. You will repeat this up to the end of your row. At the end of your row you have 22 number of stitches. This is according to my squares. My squares are 5 by 5 inches on both sides. Is that all right? But if you are making a different size, you can just chain multiples of 2 and get the desired number of chains which you want. I usually advise that chain a little bit extra more number of chains, so that when you are working with inches you can't exactly be so sure unless when you chain multiple number of chains and then just place it on your tape measure like that, okay? All right, it's the easiest I can really tell you, people, because if I give you a fixed number it ends up either being big or smaller. Okay, I've already worked on this and I already know how many number of chains I was supposed to make. That's why I said make 22 number of chains plus 1. Is that all right? So we will make, this is already half double crochet. The next stitch is going to be a slip stitch, and we will do this up to the end of this chain. This pattern is very easy. We shall just be repeating these rows over and over again until you obtain your desired square. Okay, now this is the end of my row and I end with a half double crochet. I started with a slip stitch and I've ended with a double crochet. So row 2 is where we will now repeat over and over again. In row 2, you are going to start with a slip stitch and you put a slip stitch on top of the half double crochet from the previous row. Okay, like that. And then in the space where we had a slip stitch, you are going to put a half double crochet. On top of this half double crochet, you will make a slip stitch, and then in the space where there's a slip stitch, you will make a half double crochet. You will repeat this up to the end of the row. I'll meet you when I am at the end of row 2 so that I can guide you on what to do next. Is that all right? Okay, so now this is the end of my row. This is the slip stitch which we made at the beginning of this row. So you will put a half double crochet in that last stitch, like that. This is row 2. We will repeat row 2 over and over again. I'm now going to let you crochet this until you obtain a square. Remember, we are working with a square, okay? And for my previous squares, I had 23 number of rows. So I don't know how many number of chains you made there. Tensions are different. Make sure it's a square, okay? I'll meet you when I'm done making this and then show you how to switch yarn. Catch you until then. I am at the end of my rows. I have 23 number of rows here, and the quickest way to know that you made a square is when you fold this and it can actually give you a triangle shape. That's when you know you have made a square. This is the most simplest way to know that you have obtained a square. That is what I know, at least. Okay, this is how I know I have my square. And when you measure this, it's just going to measure the same, but I wanted to show you how to know that you have made a square. Okay, just keep folding, and when you realize that it can now give you that triangle shape, you are good to go. Now this is how I switch my yarn. For us to switch yarn, this is what you are going to do. In this last stitch, you are going to pull out your yarn. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Grab the yarn that you are switching color to and then just pull through all 3. Okay, hold it here like that and then chain 1. Get your scissors and cut out that yarn because you don't need it anymore. And I like to hide the tail of my yarn as I go, so I've already chained 1 and I turn my work like that and then put a slip stitch on top here, and then in the next stitch a half double crochet, a slip stitch, a half double crochet, like that. I keep hiding the tail of this yarn and just proceed with my tutorial. Is that alright? this is how I do it, and I am going to keep crocheting this until I complete the rest of this. So I started with mustard. I'm on green now. I'll go to brown and then gold, and then repeat the whole process again until I end with the gold, and meet you right here when I am done crocheting the whole of these 8 pieces. Catch you until then, and while you are here, kindly please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel, and then turn on the notification bell on so that you are able to receive every tutorial that I post on this channel. Is that all right? I appreciate you all so much, and please leave comments for me in the comment section. Like my videos, it means so much to me. I really like to know how you people recreate these things. You can follow me on my social medias. The handles are always in the description box, okay? Like that. So as you can see, I am done hiding in the tail of this yarn, so it will just be very easy to cut this out. Catch you until I complete making my 8 pieces. So I have finished to make my entire color shades. So this is the last for me, and you are going to pull out your yarn long enough so that you can use it to join the sides. Get your scissor and cut it out. So I'll pull this out like this, like that. Okay, and the lighting has shifted, but I'm just going to work with what I have right now. So I started with a mustard, green, gold, and a brown, and you can see how it is coordinating. And when you fold this, you can see how it's folding, you know, in alignment, like, okay. I think that when you fold this, you really see it folding accordingly, and that's how you know that you have made. I might not be accurate here right now, but it is the same size, okay? Like that. For this other shade of yarn, I didn't get a medium weight yarn, so I had to combine 2 strands to give me that medium weight feel. That's why you are seeing I have 2 strands here, yet these ones are just 1 strand, so don't get confused. All right, the next part in this tutorial, we are going to be joining all these panels. At this point, you have already finished to make all your entire panel, including the ones for the sleeves, because when I start telling you to join, I will just show you a part of it, but I'll let you go ahead and join the entire cardigan. Okay, like I said, I have already joined like half of my work. I had joined up to this part here, up to like this part, so meaning I'm just left with this one thing to join plus the rest of this other side of my sleeves. Let's get right into it. You get your sweater and determine which side you'll be joining from. I already know my size very well, and like I said, you pull the tail of this yarn very long enough. So yeah, this is where I was joining from. Now we are going to join these sides. Even when you coordinate these colors, you can see that it's matching. I'm fitting for you what can appear on the screen, like that. So you see there's a mustard here, there's a gold, and there's a gold here, then there's a brown and a brown here, there's a green and a green here, and then a mustard and a mustard there. This is just the most easiest way for you to know that you have not mismatched colors anywhere. Is that all right? So get your yarn needle like that, and then come in here. I recently took some time off my channel. I had a lot going on and I didn't communicate to you people. but I saw you coming back to check on my channel and watch my videos, and it meant so much to me. Now I'm back, and I hope I can stick it with you people here back to back. Okay, so I have attached my yarn. This is how you are going to come here like that. Okay, and then come here like that. Okay, it will help you join the sides. You can see how these sides are looking. Okay, at this point I'm confused. I don't know which side to wear in or out, because this is how it looks like when I am joining, and then this is how it looks from behind. Although from behind it indicates that these were joined. Okay, I don't like these sharp edges, so I might stick with the smoother side. All right, so the yarn is over here. The yarn is over here, and you are going to come here, go right here and join, and then come right here. If you have another way to join this, it's entirely your choice. Okay, at the end of the day, you want to join your panels and it's aligning each other, but I found that this gives me a smooth alignment of my squares, so I just stuck with this method of joining my work. So repeat this until you can join all these panels. I'm now going to go ahead and join all the sides of my sweater. When I'm done, we will start working on the ribbing. So this is the sleeve side of my sweater. So I'll fold my work like this, and then go ahead to join the side of this sweater here to this point, and then up to the end here. I will meet you right again when I am done joining all the sides of my sweater. My sweater is really baggy. I mentioned that at the beginning of this tutorial. So if your back panel is 20, you are going to make a cardigan or a sweater that gives you a back panel of 20. All right, this one is really baggy. I didn't mind to take the measurement of my back panel, but where did I throw my tape measure again? I can't find it, but when I'm done joining this, we will know the back panel of this, or I'll just put it on the screen when I'm editing this video. Okay, I already placed a side of this on my body, and it was so baggy and I loved it so much. So just go ahead, join this side. I'll meet you when I'm done joining all my sides, and we'll start working on the ribbing. See, I finished to join all sides of my sweater, including the sleeves. I also went ahead and worked on one side of my sleeve ribbing. I'm now going to show you how to do the ribbing, but you can see how the sweater looks like on the screen. This is the outside part which I want to wear, and this is how my inside part looks like. Because of me joining, there are these stiff lines which I don't want to wear outside. Now we are going to start working on the ribbing, and for the ribbing I chose this color because I wanted it to pop. All right, because these other colors weren't popping enough for me. Like, this would really be too much, and I needed something that can just, you know, sandwich itself in with these colors very well, and I went with this color for my ribbing. You can choose any choice of color you want for your collection of yarn you have there, but if you're making the exact shades as I am, this is what I want to use for my ribbing, and I think it's just looking okay for the entire sweater. Now let's work on this other side of our ribbing. I'm going to insert my yarn here because this is where I want my row to start and end, and it is the underarm. Okay, it's the line which is under the sleeves. So meaning if I crochet round and I end my row, it should end where people don't see it, okay? Like this one. I ended the row here and it is just right under the sleeves. Let's go ahead and work on our ribbing for the sleeves. We will do this method for all the ribbings of the sweater. If you want your sweater longer than this, then you might have to add more rows for yourself, but I just wanted my sweater to be very brief, and here we are. All right, attach your yarn in here, secure it with a chain one, and now you are going to go in the next stitch. I like to hide the tail of my yarn as I go, and then go in the next stitch. We are reducing, and then go in the next stitch like that and pull through all. Okay, I'm using 3. You can use 4 or 2 depending on the wideness of your sleeves which you have there. Mine is too wide and I want to gather it very fast, so I am pulling my loops 3 times to reduce. This is 1, 2, 3. You have 4 loops on your hook and then you pull through all. 1, 2, 3, and pull through all. We shall repeat this all round. I'm going to meet you when I'm at the end of this row, just like that. This is the end of my row. We shall end it with a slip stitch on top of the first stitch we started with at the beginning, which is this one. So insert your hook in there and then slip stitch. This is enough for me because we are working the ribbing in round by slip stitching. It is just going to gather very well for me. So for the next row, chain 1, turn your work, and then make a single crochet in every stitch that you see here. If yours is still too big, you can go ahead and keep reducing until you obtain the size which you want. Is that all right? This tutorial is very practical and you are able to see that as you're reducing, it's either over shrinking or is still too big, and you just adjust accordingly. So I'm going to make a single crochet all round and meet you at the end of my row of single crochets like that. Again, end your row with a slip stitch on top of the first stitch in the beginning like that. So as you can see, this is how it looks like for now. So you are going to turn your work and chain 8. I would chain 9, but you can change less or more than this. My ribbons are gonna be 8 stitches, so I will chain 8 plus 1. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the 9th chain is going to be a returning chain because we shall be working single crochets up to the end of this chain, and at the end of this chain you should have 8 number of single crochets. So go in the second stitch from your chain, your yarn, you will have 2 loops on your hook and then pull through all. That's how we make a single crochet. We will do this up to the end of this chain and have 8 single crochets in total. This is so far 4. I want to work my ribbing this way, but there's another way. You can crochet the ribbing separately and then use a needle or your hook to attach it onto your sweater. I am not encouraging you, but that is just another way of doing it. But I want to do mine this way so that I can have a neater ribbing like this. All right, it's entirely your choice, but I'm just letting you know that you can crochet this ribbing separately and then attach it onto this sweater. Is that all right? When you do that, or if you're going to do that, you can leave me a comment in the comment section and I get to know how that turned out for you. Now we have 8 stitches here. You are going to go inside this stitch here, okay, and slip stitch. You join it with a slip stitch, go in the next stitch, pull out your yarn and slip stitch, and then chain 1, turn your work. So you are going to skip the first 2 stitches. Those are the 2 slip stitches you made just when we ended the previous row, and go in the 3rd stitch and make a single crochet. Repeat this until you end this row. At the end, you are still going to maintain 8 number of stitches. In this last stitch here, pass your yarn, pass your hook through these 2 loops like that, and then make a single crochet, chain 1 and turn your work. So we shall now be repeating row 2 over and over again. I'm going to show you one more time in row 3. This is already 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And then come in this loop here, join with a slip stitch 1, go in the second one and join with a slip stitch, chain 1, turn your work, skip the first 2 slip stitches from the previous row, and then insert your hook in the 3rd stitch, make a single crochet. And this is already row 4. At the end of row 4, you will have 8 number of stitches. If you've been watching my tutorials and gone through my playlist of sweaters and cardigan, you can definitely grasp what I'm saying here. So it's very easy, neater. Just repeat this until you are at the end of this row here. I am going to meet you when I'm at the end of our rows, and this is how the ribbing is going to look like. You can see it looks small, like as if it can't fit me, but as you can see, this stretches out, my yarn stretches out. Okay, let's meet when we are at the end of this rows up to here, and then I show you all how to join the sides of your ribbing. I'm at the end of my row. Now we are going to join these 2 sides together, chain 1, turn your work. Now come to this first stitch here and slip stitch, then go in the back loop of this stitch, and then this other side and slip stitch. You will pick the back loops only, this other side and slip stitch. We will do this up to the end like that. Okay, like that. Then get your needle, insert your yarn inside the needle, like that, and then just sew it in like that. You can now go ahead and hide this yarn, the tail of this yarn, like that. Okay, get your scissor and cut it out. This is how the ribbings of your sleeves look like. Now we are going to work on the ribbings of the downer side. We shall make single crochets in the opposite direction. Is that okay? Okay, so you are going to turn your work like this, and then we make single crochets starting from here up to the end here. You put one single crochet in every stitch that you see, like that. Yeah, this is the opposite direction. So insert your hook in here, like that. Okay, chain one, then put a single crochet in this first stitch, like that. Okay, and then make single crochets up to the end of this row. We are going to be making the same ribbings this other side here. Instead of chaining 8 here, I will chain 11, and then at the end have 10 stitches. The 11th chain is a returning chain, so I'll catch you again when I'm at the end of these rows of single crochets. See you until then. This is the end of my row. So this is how it's going to look like from outside. We shall use the outside part to actually work the ribbing from. Okay, that's why I said you should make your single crochet from the opposite side. Now for the ribbings, I am going to chain 11, and the 11th chain is a returning chain. So make single crochets like how we did previously for our sleeve ribbing. We will just repeat the same thing, but I want to show you the first row. For ready. So come in this stitch and slip stitch, go in the second one and slip stitch, chain one, turn your work, skip the first 2 slip stitches, go in the third one and make a single crochet. So repeat this until you are at the end of every stitch which you see here. I'm going to do this all through up to this point, and I meet you when I'm here. It's just the same as we did the ribbing, and also it's going to be the same for this upper side, but I want to see if I can make this ribbing separately and attach, just to show you all what to expect. Unless it doesn't come out so well, I will not encourage you all to do it. Is that all right? I like alternatives, so let's see if I can do that and just show you all how it will turn out. Else we will just drop the whole idea all together and maybe use it for another tutorial. All choices are okay, all right? No pressure. So see you when I'm at the end of these rows. I have completed to make my ribbings, so this is how it looks like. Okay, we started from here all through up to this side. Now you are going to pull out your yarn and cut it out like that. Okay, so we shall repeat what we did here for the ribbings on this side. If you want buttons, you're going to create button holes. You are going to place your sweater like this and then start making the ribbings from here all through to this end. To start, we will start by making a single crochet in the opposite direction. Get your yarn and attach it here. So after you're done making this single crochet, you will now start making the ribbings. You are going to chain 10 and then repeat this all through. So I had 10 stitches here. I need to make like 10 single crochets here because you don't want to make more stitches. All right, if you were working with 7, you will make 7 stitches. I had 10, so I have to make sure that I'm gonna make 10 stitches. These are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and then this is the 10th one. So this is the row where we made a single crochets at the beginning. I'm going to put 1 single crochet in there. Let me do it like this, and then in each space which you see here, put 1 single crochet. Okay, you'll be able to tell where to put the single crochets because you are the one crocheting there and you know how your tension is. So if you end up putting 2 single crochets in a space, that's not going to turn out for your ribbing. All right, so just put 1 single crochet in every space that you see. When the spaces are close to each other, you can skip and go to the next one. Okay, I'll do this all round. When I'm done, I start working on my ribbing like how we did here, and then I meet you for the final reveal. If you want buttons, it's very easy to create buttonholes. So just to give you a heads up, I had 23 rows here, so meaning I'll have to put 23 single crochets in this space. So let's see, this is already 4, this is 5, 6, 7, 21 and 22 somewhere here, which is still not bad. Okay, that way you know that when you're working on the ribbings, it just turns out so fine. Is that all right? Now I'll just go ahead, make single crochets all round. When you reach in the corner here, don't put more than 1 single crochet, just maintain 1 single crochet in every space. Same for this other side, all through here, and when you are done, start making on the ribbings. Is that all right? I'll meet you when I'm done with mine. I'm back with working on all my ribbings, both for the front and the downer side. So this is how my ribbing looks like. The one which is on this side, this is how it looks like, and you can see that it is neater here. I didn't consider the option of crocheting this separately and then using a needle to attach it. I just proceeded with what I was doing previously with the rest of all the ribbings of this sweater. That means I am through with this tutorial. I needed buttons for my sweater, so I went ahead, made slots for 4 buttons. Sometimes I like to button it high up, but it's an option. You can put 2 or 3 depending on how you want to wear your sweater. And this is the inside part. I can wear this inside out, but I don't like how the stitching looks like from inside. It is better for me when I wear it outside like this. Okay, with this we have literally come to the end of this tutorial. Do leave me a thumbs up, comment on my video so that YouTube can push my videos to a wider audience. Otherwise, I appreciate you all for being here. For those of you who don't follow me on my social media handles are always in the description box, or you can check my profile and just click on the links. It will take you straight to my social media pages. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate so much. See you again in my next tutorial. Bye bye.